Radio X 103.5, The Evolution. It is T-Bone. You're listening to the T-Bone and Lil Smokey
That's me.
Power Hour. We don't have our theme song
We
tonight
lost
because
the theme song.
we didn't lose it. It's just we're in another studio
Run
recording.
around, yeah, like musical chairs.
Because there's some basketball games tonight, and who the hell cares about
We're
basketball?
pushed out by sports. I can't
Yeah, we
believe
got
it.
pushed out by sports. But for those of you who don't know, myself, Steve, experts,
Complete
I'd
experts.
say, complete
in the field.
experts on we're outstanding in the field.
We are outstanding in our own
In
field.
our own fields.
Somebody's field.
By the way, Mr. Pretentious.
What's that?
I was reading a thing on, I have to get to this before we get to our sponsors.
Yeah.
I
Probably
was reading a thing on AskMojo.com.
Mm-hmm.
It is primer.
Primer?
Yes, it's not
Why
primer.
why were we saying primer?
You said
Did I?
primer. And I said, why would it be called primer?
I think it was because in
You wanted to be smart.
I wanted to have something, man.
You wanted to go, oh, it's primer, Tony. It's not primer.
Well, primer's a paint. Primer sounds like. Hey, remember in Contact? Remember Contact?
Yeah.
The movie with Jodie Foster.
Yeah, sure.
When what's his name? John Hurt sent her the to help her figure out the thing. He called it a primer. Now I know this has nothing to do with the movie, but he pronounced the word.
Maybe
primer.
they pronounced it
and
wrong.
I was going by his pronunciation.
Maybe they pronounced it wrong, but it says primer.
Maybe Mr. Mojo doesn't know what he's talking about.
Mr. Mojo on the side it says the 10 best science or the 10 best time travel movies.
Right. Primer was on there.
Primer came in at I think 4.
Right.
Guess what number 1 was? Just obviously.
The Edge of Tomorrow.
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future. That's pretty good though. We got to admit.
I don't know.
It's probably the most overall entertaining.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably the. I
mean,
gotta watch that movie again.
And yeah, I mean, I've seen. It's still really good. I think
Which
it holds
of the
up
3
great.
is the best?
That's tough because I love. The first one's probably gonna always be the best, but I love them all.
They're all
pretty
good.
A lot of people don't like the second one. They think it's too dark.
Yeah, that's the second one.
It.
The one that I saw was the second one.
Yeah, I like the fact they go back to the same.
I
time.
like Flaherty being in the end of it.
Yeah,
he
shows up with the letter. Yeah,
give it the letter
but he's
back.
funny. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, he's great in it.
But,
but it was number 1.
What else
and let's see.
What else is there?
Oh, there were a few. Terminator was in there as one, and Primer.
Yeah, that's good.
I don't know, but there's a couple. But anyways, we can look it up later if you want to. Anyhow, our show is brought to you by our good friends at JJ's Wood Fired Pizza, 1612 South Madison and Webb City. Also, our good friends in Joplin, our friends that are bringing us Blue October, Sunday, October 26th. Get your tickets at Stubwire at blueoctober.com or the Gaslight 106 Main in Joplin, who is also one of our sponsors. The Gaslight 106 Main in Joplin, open Wednesday through Saturday. Lots to talk about, Stevie.
A lot of stuff going on. We're in a new season.
Yeah,
so
we're in a new season. We're in season 13.
13. I thought at least 13, yeah.
We had a bit of a hiatus. Isn't that what they call it?
There was a break in the action, or a hiatus, as we call it.
Well, we did a couple of shows, which I think one of them was Emmy nominated around the Super Bowl that nobody heard.
Yeah, I think that was the problem. I think it would have won probably the Emmy if we had been if the Super Bowl hadn't overshadowed us.
Because but we did. So we ran it back to back because it was so amazing.
Yeah, and our listener I think tuned in the second time.
That a lot of people don't realize, and it's kind of a bad deal. We ran it the weekend of the Super Bowl and the weekend after, and a lot of people don't realize this, but that was the weekend that we discovered, not on this show, but we discovered on Dimension X that everything about all the Loch Ness Monster.
We carefully dissected all of the available information.
My God, to a point of
poured over the information.
Scoured it. And realized that it's all real.
We finally discovered, without
real.
a doubt, absolutely clearly, that it's...
and other people don't realize, and for those of you that may say, okay, whatever, we also figured out, too, that there's just one of them. That it's just...
traveling.
It goes back and forth in an underground
tunnel. It dug
tunnel.
its own tunnel.
Yeah, it dug a tunnel.
Which a lot of people don't believe, I think, still. But
dug a tunnel that, who knows how long it took. Maybe had tools. Who knows?
Yeah, it's got digger hands.
He's got really good hands for shoveling stuff.
Yeah, and it has those teeth that can chew up the gravel and rock and stuff, then spit it out the back end.
People say, what to eat. Well, those questions are for you to answer, not us.
We can't give you all of the information.
Get
out there yourselves.
Why don't you go out and try to answer some of those questions?
We've done most of the work for you.
We looked over those pictures. We decided at some point
We spent several minutes looking at these pictures.
Well, I mean, to say we decided.
We didn't necessarily decide. We talked about it and came to a decision. Wasn't really a decision.
Yeah.
More of a thought process. My thought process ended, and I gave my theory.
Yeah, we're fairly certain.
I'm not even sure now that you mention it.
No, that he could be real.
I think it's real.
But we're not
we're not going to
say
we proved it wasn't real. But I think if you really look at it, the things add up to the point that they aren't really. He's not real.
Yeah,
Get him out of here.
Just forget it.
Let's start over with this whole process. Get the pictures out here.
Don't worry, we'll edit all this out.
It won't matter in the end.
Now, the first movie we want to talk about tonight that's kind of interesting, you brought it up a minute ago, and I forgot already.
It was a movie?
Yeah, what movie were we talking about? No, we were talking about a new one.
Oh, what the hell was it?
I don't know.
Was I looking up something?
Yeah, I've lost it now.
Okay, a movie that's coming out.
Well, we were talking about the thing we can talk about first segment. I know.
We say, I think.
We're both old. I mean, but the thing is,
an alien.
Oh yeah, we're talking about Neil Blomkamp.
Blomkamp.
Neil
Blomkamp.
Neil Blomkamp.
Neil Blomkamp. Blomkamp is directing a new alien movie. That's all we really need today.
Mr. Blomkamp is directing a new alien.
Now, a lot of you might remember Mr. Blomkamp from District 9.
District 9, Elysium, or Chappie.
Chappie, the new one, yes.
Which everybody seems to think is going to bomb.
That's gotten a couple of sounds like people seem to have seen it and think it's okay.
They like it?
Yeah, I mean.
The only problem I have with it is...
It's robots.
First of all, I think doing a movie with... we learned that through Real Steel that Hugh Jackman with robots is great idea. Great idea.
That's his deal, man. He loves... The Real Steel was all right.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
I have to stop and make sure when you're commenting on a movie.
I didn't like it. I didn't care
for your review of
I didn't see it, but it didn't look good to me.
Okay, well then that's a fair review. Yeah, I gotta say, but
I think it is. It's stupid that he's up there
with a fighting robot.
The Chappie thing is interesting to me because of the child quality and learning and everything.
Yeah.
But somebody said it, and I agree. It's gotten a little old that everything's in South Africa and everything's in dingy little.
We're tired of seeing that.
Well, no, but I mean, they really did say that, and they said, all of his locations.
I think that's where the alien movie will be, South Africa.
Yeah, they're going to make it in South Africa, and it's actually they're going to fight lions in it.
That's a crazy new concept.
I think it's a great idea.
That's a great way to go. I mean, we haven't seen it.
Because think about it, the only creature on Earth that maybe other than a scorpion. That could fight the aliens?
It's
lion.
I heard there's a possibility they may have combined a lion with a scorpion.
Now, that's in Jurassic World, though, isn't it?
Oh, that's right. That's the scorpion.
The scorpion. That's a scorpion. The lipian.
And it's just crazy.
Well, the deal was...
Picture a lion with a scorpion tail.
They were going to do it with a lion's face and then it was so small... Then people were like, well, it's not really a threat.
I'll put some pictures up of the scorpion.
Yeah, scorpion. Lorpian. But no, they said, Chappie, what I've seen of it review-wise, it looks, again,
so
like
he's a robot who kind of
learns society,
maybe
I think.
Learns too much, probably, I'm guessing.
Well, I don't know. Hugh Jackman's in it, which I'm hoping plays Wolverine in it. Don't you? I mean, I assume he was.
It's in his contract. It's all he can play.
Yeah, I mean, he
which I'm fine with.
At some point in it, he better turn into Wolverine. That's all I'm saying.
I think it's safe to say Wolverine's going to show up.
This is the deal. Honestly, that movie Prisoners, but other than that, he was born to be Wolverine.
Who would have thought growing up he'd grow up to play Wolverine?
I mean, because he's got the look, he's got the hair. He's
got the claws. He actually has those.
He is Wolverine. No, but it strikes me, movies like that, the only thing that bothers me, honestly, Steve, when it comes to, like, a robot learning about life or whatever, I mean...
It just wouldn't happen, you think?
Well, no, it's not that it's just... I was so blown away. Even my mom, for God's sakes, just thought District 9 was amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the effects in it are so good that I can honestly tell you, and you know effects tons better than I do.
True.
But there's not a scene in that movie where I'm like, I mean, the only scene that I would say is kind of CG-ish maybe is when the plane, the UFO's hanging in the air.
Yeah, but even
that's
good.
pretty dang good.
Yeah.
But when whatever you want to call
creature
them,
effects.
the creature. Oh my God!
Perfect. Yeah, I mean these are perfectly believable.
I mean,
characters.
you don't even after 5 minutes you don't even think they're not real.
No,
it's
I mean there's like when he comes up there and he's got his kid in the house in there, and I mean you're worried about this kid, and it's a little alien kid. I mean, but it's completely believable because
I just remember thinking when I was seeing it, Steve, I was like, oh my! I mean the effects in that movie.
Well, it's the level we're at in technology. I mean, the problem with most
I don't. Okay, let's stop for a second.
Okay.
If that's where we're at, then why are some of these other movies? I mean,
because it's crappy effects are easy to do. You, just because you can do something well, it's like anything you make or whatever.
Yeah.
There's people that know how to do it right and do it well, and there's people that just slap stuff together. So I mean, you still have to put an effort in to make them look good, but the tools are there for everybody to use.
Dude, that movie, I honestly think, and I love the guns that have the waves. Although I realized. You know what? I saw a movie the other day, and then I was like, oh, that's actually been used before. That was used in Minority Report. Did you know that?
It's been a while, but...
yeah, no, they used the same type of guns that were like, pulse guns that made the little waves.
Yeah.
It's not as cool.
That's an effect I'm messing with right now on the computers.
Yeah, but but seriously, it was used in Minority Report, and I'm like, I mean, it's cooler looking in District 9 by leaps and bounds because it blows everybody to hell. Right. But they actually have the same type of gun in Minority Report.
Huh. So you think maybe it's happening in the same universe?
I think maybe those two movies are interconnected.
Minority 9.
You know what? I watched the scene, which I love. And I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the movie in Minority Report, but the scene where he changes his eyes, that's a good scene. Yeah. That's a really, really...
the whole idea is pretty creepy in the way
the creepy and then finding the nasty food. They're staying underwater and everything. Yeah, but they actually use those same type of guns. But anyways, what I was going to say, I've never seen, the only movie that I can think of that I would even put close. I mean, I remember because my mom didn't want to go see it, and I didn't know much about it. And we went and saw it in Grove, and I said, well, I heard it was really good. And my mom, who's 70, well, at the time wasn't 74, but probably 70 then, loved it. I mean, she loved District 9, and she's, she was like, oh my God, and it was sad, and great film, and it's got all kinds of imagery, plus, a lot of political
and
things.
What's his name? He's pretty funny, too. What's his name? The main guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been in other stuff.
Schwarzenegger.
Schwarzenegger, yeah.
No, what is his name?
Gosh.
Why can't we ever remember names?
We need to study more or do some research.
Maybe prepare for film. What do you think about preparing? Yeah.
And I could look it up.
Find out his name.
I know his name because I keep saying it all the
It's something Schlong. It starts with an S or something, doesn't it?
Charto
Copley. Charto Copley.
Yeah.
Who's great in it.
Yeah, and he's good in a lot of
But
stuff.
my only thing, and he's been in a lot of films, he was great in the A-Team. Oh my God, I'm joking. But
I actually thought
he's good in it. My only other film that I would even put in that same category to where you lose yourself. I mean, you don't even think, oh, that's
right. You start noticing the effects.
Would be Sharkosaurus. From
Sharktopus.
What's it?
Sharknado.
Sharknado.
Yeah, that's the only.
I mean, that's the only
two
film
together are the only two. You're right.
The only two that I can even think.
Lose yourself in the quality of what you're saying.
Yeah, because you even in Sharknado, when the tornadoes come and start shooting sharks out.
Well, the thing is, this is something that you feel like you're in the middle of a Sharknado.
Yeah, you're thinking
and if you've
to yourself,
never been in the middle of one, then they covered those bases.
How they captured that. And then you put in a Tara Reid and an Ian Ziering
to just cap it off
to make the acting that much better.
Well, that's the emotional part of Sharknado.
Yeah, and you think, oh, there's a scene where they hide in a diner, and then the diner, ends up because the Sharknado shoots out sharks. The shark gets into the diner,
right?
And the cook realizes the only way he can really fight him is by hitting him with pans. And Steve, the scene is so intense.
I didn't get to see the whole movie, so I missed that entire tense scene. But
And he just, ends up beating him.
This
I
is
mean, it ends up
the level of District 9 we're talking about here.
Yeah,
in terms
it's
of acting and
I'd say acting and effects. Top 2, District 9. Second, just by a hair, Sharknado.
Sharknado, and then the Sharknado 2.
Sharknado 2, maybe not the top 5, but in the top 10.
Yeah, definitely the top 10.
We talked a little bit about effects, and we were talking about the fact we didn't really get to it, but Blomkin.
Yeah, I wanted to say Blomkin's doing an alien movie. That's a good. I mean, we talk about what he did with District 9,
which is amazing.
I haven't seen Elysium, but I heard the biggest problem with it was
I started watching it.
Did
I tell you that I started watching it. I honestly, it's not very good.
Yeah, and someday I'll watch it on video. But I mean, and then what I've heard about Chappie sounds like he's a decent.
But will you go see it? Probably
these
not.
days. It's hard to get to the movies unless
But Steve, let's be honest. It's not. It doesn't have a lot of box office appeal.
It just depends on what I hear about it. If I hear people say, some of the reviewers I follow, if they say, "Hey, it's worth seeing," I might go see it. But I may not. I'm not.
I just think it's going to be a bomb. Well, I mean, not because it's going to be a bad movie. I just don't. I don't see the appeal of it.
Well, it's hard to say. It's got Hugh Jackman, so that'll help a little bit.
I think to a point, but I think that also
it's the name more than anything.
If Hugh Jackman's in it as Wolverine, then yes.
Well, if he at least has some of the Wolverine attitude, I think.
Or his hair's jacked up on the sides.
Either way, but
or shirtless.
I'm sure he'll be.
I was going to say he'll be shirtless. That's probably in his contract.
I'm sure it is. But the thing is, I mean, anyway, just even looking at District 9, if he can do something even similar to that feel and tone in an alien movie, and I've heard he's bringing Hicks back.
Yeah, which I like.
That's killing him off, and it was just one of the dumbest things ever in Aliens.
I totally agree.
I mean, you got these great. So however you do it, that's fine. If you can bring them
back.
And
are they going to bring back the girl too?
The little girl?
Yeah.
All I heard was he thought there was it was going to be Ripley and Hicks. So
which is great.
Yeah. I mean, that would be.
And there's something about she's going to get to the space pilots or something.
Yeah, somebody said there's.
She gets
I've looked at all the
inside
concept
of one
art,
or
but
something.
She's in the same thing that's. And remember Prometheus?
Yeah.
The space jockey chair thing.
Yeah. I know it is.
Yeah, well, that's what they were talking about. So, I mean, it's just like a spacesuit and a chair. I mean, so.
Oh, is that all
I don't know what she's doing there, but I mean,
I thought those guys weren't the jockeys in those chairs, the albino dudes in Prometheus.
But they had,
But they had a suit on.
But they had the suit.
So she's going to get in that suit.
Apparently she's going to. But they're bigger. They're like
Avatar. They're gigantic.
She's always with these Avatar people.
She's 6 foot, though.
She's the same size as Steve.
She's every bit of 6 foot.
She's more than your average woman, I think you can say.
The other problem I have with that, and I don't want to say it, but I still got to say it because is I think she's a bit old to be in that movie, don't you?
But Ripley would get old.
No, I don't disagree with that, but I mean,
I don't have a problem with age as long as they do it somehow appropriately. I mean, she doesn't have to play the same type of character.
And she's actually been really good in film, and she still looks great. I mean, the funny thing about that is, and I was telling somebody this the other day, and, I'm not one of those people that's an ageist and going, whatever, you got to do this. But the funny thing is to me, now they're talking about Chris Pratt going to be the new Indiana Jones.
Do we need to really announce the new Indiana Jones right now? I mean,
first of all, Chris Pratt, if you don't watch it, it's going to be way overexposed, and he's going to be,
That's my first thing. I don't think he's worth all of the effort, frankly. I mean, I remember I watched him on, Parks and Rec when he was,
which he was okay,
okay, as a dumb guy, whatever. Yeah. And then, Guardians.
Yeah.
He did all right, but again, he didn't blow me away with it. It's not like here's somebody who's, and then now he's in everything. And and again, I don't have a problem with being in Jurassic Park, Jurassic World. That's fine.
He looks like he's going to be good in it.
But he's not Harrison Ford.
But he's not Harrison Ford. And to be real blunt with you, that is a big. I mean, there's some roles you're like, okay. I mean, I hate to say it, but even like putting Christian Bale in the Terminator. Mm-hmm. He's such a star and such a charismatic guy that you can almost say, okay, I mean, I know they had that little scene at the end, where they had, Arnold in it, but Bale kind of can overshadow that.
Yeah,
nobody can overshadow Harrison Ford, not as Indiana Jones. No. I mean, it's just not going to happen.
We don't need it to happen, frankly.
No, it's not going to happen.
We've got enough Indiana Jones movies. There's no need to do anymore other than just the cash grab. And you put somebody else in there, and I'm sorry, it's not gonna be the same. It's not gonna work. Someday, yeah, maybe. You know, and even now, when they were talking about Bradley Cooper, and I thought I'd give it to him before Chris Pratt. You know, at least he's got that. You know, the look to him.
Pratt. You know, this scene they showed. I mean, they may have just put the clothes on it.
Yeah,
he looks the part. I mean, he does. I'm talking about that kind of, you know. To me, of the two of them, I probably would go Bradley Cooper just because I think Bradley Cooper. I mean, that guy's making some great career choices. How in God's name did American Sniper make $300+ million?
No clue what's going on.
I mean, you know what's funny? When I first read about that movie, I knew it was a Clint Eastwood movie. I thought, oh, this is going to be one of those, you know, $20 million movies not hardly anybody sees, like a Wes Anderson movie, you know, where, you know, people love it, but there's only a few people who've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to end up being, they're saying right now, it's going to be end up being the biggest movie of 2014.
Yeah, and I don't get it at all.
I'm just like, is it that great?
I have no idea.
I mean, seriously,
it's not one of those movies that to me look like I really want to go see. I didn't really have any interest.
Well, when I first saw the, I asked my mom, because my mom saw it, and I said, do you realize in 2 weeks that's going to be the biggest movie of the year? It's going to be Guardians of the Galaxy, Hunger Games. I mean, it's going to make $360 million. And I said, Mom, this is a movie about a sniper, for God's sakes. And she's like, well, it tells, you know, his home life, and it's real, you know, kind of gory and everything. And you know, it's real. I mean, Steve, it must be some kind of movie because I
haven't heard anybody tell me anything about it that I don't really know anybody that's going to see it, I guess. So
that's funny. I really don't either.
You know, it's not like people come in. Yeah. Usually they'll come in and start talking. Like, what was the last one that reminded me of this? The guy left behind. Was it
Sharknado?
That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah. It reminds me of Sharknado when people would come in and they'd be going, man, I saw Sharknado last night, and I'd go, whoa, what's this Sharknado movie?
Yeah.
That's not happening with American Sniper.
What was it? Seriously,
it was the one. Was it Wahlberg? Was he in Left Behind or something? The Last Man Left Behind. What it was called?
Oh, Nicolas Cage.
No, it was Nicolas. No, not Left Behind. It was. Oh gosh, it was about last year, and it was the war movie. The one guy.
Oh, Lone Survivor.
Lone Survivor.
Yeah,
I heard a lot about that.
Yeah,
never saw it, but it was one that people were talking up. That was being
Speaking of his movie, The Gambler bombed big time, and you know that was kind of poised to be. You know,
that's the Kenny Rogers story. Right?
Yeah, it's based on Kenny Rogers. Mark Wahlberg is Kenny Rogers.
Now that would be something I would.
Yeah, it really would. But no, it just kind of amazes me that a movie like you said, nobody really. I mean, when my mom, I said, "Have you seen it?" Yeah. Oh, it's just good because it shows both sides of it, and I guess the guy got killed. The sniper. He's
Spoiler.
He's the sniper. No, not in the movie.
Oh, I did hear that.
Yeah. That he had, he has the most kills in American history, and he came back and began to help others, and the dude turned on him and killed him. Some guys working with, which probably, I hate to say, probably propelled sales on the movie and whatever. But anyhow, Chris Pratt. No, I want to get back to my point. We got about 4 or 5 minutes left in this segment.
What is your point?
When I look at movies, and I know you're different than I am, but I hopefully you can see my point here, Steve.
I hope so.
When I see, and it's on a lesser level, but let's begin with it, and then let's move on to bigger, fish.
Godzilla.
But yes, I was going to say, let's talk for about an hour about Godzilla.
So weird.
When they made, which, my favorite movie, Steve's favorite movie, Star Wars, mine's Halloween. When they remade Halloween, I mean, really remade it, not all the sequels they'd done and everything, with Rob Zombie. Initially, because I'd seen Houses of a Thousand Corpses, and I thought, I didn't love it, but I kind of liked parts of it because it kind of reminded me of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It was kind of creepy and odd, and I was like, it'd be kind of interesting to see what his take is on this.
Sure.
First of all, horrible movie, but beyond that, they have to make Michael Myers a product of a broken home and, white trash. But the best part is at the end, he's 7 foot tall and gigantic.
He's an avatar.
Yeah, he's an avatar. but he's gigantic. I mean, he's, and you're like,
what's that all about?
That misses the whole point of the movie, because the first Halloween was, here's this normal sized man that embodied evil. I mean, he was purely evil. And the doctor says, I spent 7 years trying to keep him trying to get to him, and another 8 locked up because I realized he's just evil.
Right.
And you're not talking about a man. And of course, when it went on, obviously that was the running gag. It always is with like serial killers. You never can kill them. But in the first one especially, he's just a guy he's a guy that picked up that the reason he's dressed as he is because he killed a guy in a tow truck and took his overalls, and then found a mask at Halloween, which is, I think, brilliant again, because once again, he can run around the town that he's from and all day, and nobody's going to think a thing about it because it's Halloween.
Yeah, he picked a good day there.
Yeah. Well, then you get to a movie, and this is what bothers me, but it's also my complaint, is you get to a movie like an Indiana Jones, which when we first saw Indiana Jones in 1981, one of the first movies that I didn't know anything about when I went to see it. I thought it was actually a space movie.
I'm not
I really
surprised
did.
about that. Yeah,
but I saw the trailer, or I saw the standee in the movie theater in Eastgate, and honest to God, Steve, I thought it was a science fiction movie.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. And then I saw that's before I saw the standee.
Yeah.
And then I saw the standee, and I was like, oh, it's like a action adventure movie.
Yeah. All I knew was I saw the picture of Indy facing the cobra.
Snake, yeah.
And it was in the Star Wars newsletter.
But this movie, when I saw this movie the first time, was, honest, and I was a huge Spielberg fan. I loved Close Encounters. I loved Jaws. I still watch every time Jaws is on. It doesn't matter. Yeah. I watch Jaws start to finish every single time it's on TV.
Not too many movies that I will do that with.
I just can't help it. Yeah.
There's not a bad frame in
that. There's not. It just
gets better as it goes along.
Every single and it gets more exciting and more tense. And I found out for sure, and he did ad-lib it. Probably the best movie quote in a movie ever. I think we're going to need a bigger boat.
Yeah, and I was so hilarious when I learned that he made that line.
He just added it.
Yeah,
and I'm trying to think, Steve. There's not a lot of.
No, there was a list on one time I looked at with of different ones that were ad-libbed. There's a lot of surprising ones. But, there's not a better one. I don't think.
I think to Murray and Ghostbusters going, well, there's something you don't see every day. And I think that's a great one, too.
That's pretty good.
But I think we're going to need a bigger boat.
Nothing sums it up as that line.
It's just so great.
In that moment.
Yeah. And I'm thinking this is just great. But anyhow, we got about a minute and a half this segment. Here's the problem I have, and it's a big problem.
I'm sure it
is using Harrison Ford through those first 3 films up till Crusade. Yeah. He's age appropriate, Sure. He's still, and he's clearly, most guys, I think even at Crusade he was probably pushing 50, and he looked fantastic.
Yeah, he was still believable in the role.
But looked great, and so then you got him almost 20 years later.
He's like 89 in Crystal Skull.
But seriously, I'm guessing he's about 50 in Crusade. So let's just say he's close to 70-ish.
Yeah, he's got to be around there.
68 to 70. That's a ballpark. I think I read the other day, I think he's 74 now.
Oh my God.
Or 75. He's born in 40 or 41. So
hard to believe.
So again, like I said, in 89 he's damn near 50, and then 19 years later he's almost 70.
Right.
And totally believable in Crusade. Looked fantastic. Doesn't look horrible in Kingdom of the Spider, or the
Kingdom of the Crystal Spiders.
The Crystal Spiders.
And he starts off. It looks okay, actually.
Yeah,
actually, the beginning of that movie isn't terrible.
Yeah. But as it went on, I'm like, my thought was, honestly, I think, and I tell people this about Travolta. I think John Travolta, even though he's gotten really odd with his haircut and everything lately.
Let's hear a little Travolta.
I think what. Where, Mr. Carter? Huh? Yeah.
It's my new favorite one of yours that you do.
I got shoes. But I honestly think of John Travolta as one of the last true movie stars of our generation because he can sing, he can dance, he can act, he can, all these things. And granted, he looks really odd these days, but I mean,
no,
I would put him, and I would also put Harrison Ford real close to that because Harrison Ford is a movie star in a big, 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 big way.
It's true, and that is how we think of him.
Yeah.
But I don't know. He doesn't do as many things as we're given credit for, though. I mean, he's done a lot of movies, but they're not all those big movies like we.
He's not. He's not. He's just been in a couple of franchises that were gigantic.
Yeah. Right.
Just walk away. We were talking at the end of the last segment about Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Spiders.
Yeah.
And
which was great.
Yeah. Well, there's a scene at the end when all the spiders turn into crystal.
I think they were ants, actually.
Ants. But first of all, it's a horrible movie. But second of all, I think as the movie goes on, first of all, Karen Allen hadn't been to a movie in ages, so she wasn't very good in it.
Which I was excited that she was coming back, but she just acted like she hadn't been around a camera in a long and it's
time.
And it was really embarrassing at some point.
LaBeouf, I mean, and I'll say this, I don't think LaBeouf's a bad actor.
I don't have a problem with LaBeouf in general. He's been in some decent stuff. The dramatic stuff he does is fine. I mean,
but really
not a new Indiana Jones.
This is a 50s era, greaser, and he's the, got the whole, and I like the fact that they're making, Harrison Ford older, et cetera, et cetera. My problem is, and they're talking now very, very seriously about an Indy 5. I mean, maybe it's just BS. Maybe they're just killing time, whatever. Mm-hmm. I love him being in the new Star Wars movie. I love that. I'm so excited to see him. It's the best thing he can do, I think. Yeah, I think he'll do. And he very honestly needs something because he hasn't been in anything.
That's what I'm saying. Because this is something that
time.
He didn't used to want to do. Some years ago, somebody asked him if he would like to, long before Crystal Skull, they said, would you do Han Solo again? He goes, no, I don't have interest. But I would do Indiana Jones in a heartbeat. But then since he did Crystal Skull, and now here's the only thing he really is left that he could have fun doing, and that could bring everything he's got to something and make it really, really cool.
And for a let's just say 75-year-old man, excellent shape. I mean,
and he's going to be in the role of a leader.
I was going to say,
so he'll be, it doesn't have to be running around, doing a whole lot.
But here's what bothers me, and you could put it in a number of different things. I mean. And I really kind of want to talk about the psychological nature of it because having played music and whatnot, but I mean, I don't really want to see a movie with anybody else other than Indiana Jones. Not that I'm dying to see one anyway.
No.
But
because it was really all about him.
I mean, the first three were a blast, and let's just end it with those. I mean,
there's not a pressing need.
There's a scene at the end where they're all riding off on their horses.
Perfect.
So why even do another one? Yeah. But now that they are talking about possibly doing another,
if they're going to do it, what's the best way?
Well, I mean, like I said, and we were talking about it with Sigourney Weaver and Aliens. I mean, I'm not like I said, I'm not an ageist because I'm getting old. But I mean, the bottom line is. Should a 70? I mean, let's realistically, Steve. By the time production and everything was started, this guy's going to be at least 76, 77 years old because it's not going to happen. At least for
Indy? Is that what you're talking about?
At least.
Well, and that's the thing is, I mean,
and you're just like, do we need him to do that at that age?
That's I'm at that point now where after the last one, I thought, okay, I don't think they should have done the last one. He should have done it. But since he did it, now I can say, well, I don't think we need to see him in another one. There's not a need for it. No. Now, I don't know if he wants to do it. If he wants to do it, then they'll probably do another one. Oh, yeah. But I thought that he was talking about doing Blade Runner.
See, the Blade Runner thing doesn't bother me
that would be okay.
much.
That's different. I mean,
because you can also, I hate to say it, but you can also kind of make him up a little more in that one. Yeah. To maybe, I mean, the guy doesn't look super, super old anyway, other than his hair. I mean, he's, got grayish white hair now, but, I mean, he's still 75 years old. And, I mean, what I think, and maybe I'm wrong, but what I think with, and I know it's not their era, but that's what I think happened with Arnold Schwarzenegger, Steve. He goes off and he's a relatively big star when he becomes governor of California, governor of England, which a lot of people don't realize.
It's a dual role.
Yeah, it was a dual role. He did a little bit of both. But governor of California, which, I don't know how old he is now. He's in his late 60s probably. But, I mean, he was out, he was there in kind of the prime, not the prime, but, I mean, a big chunk of what he could have been still making fairly big movies.
Yeah.
And, when he came back, I mean, the dude, he hadn't had a hit. He hadn't anything even
He's done
smelling
several
a
movies,
hit.
too, hasn't he?
He's already done 6 or 7 movies.
That's crazy. Because you would have thought he would have come back and there would have been something that would have people would go, hey, Arnold's back.
It's Arnold back.
I already didn't
Well, I thought that first one, just because it kind of had a fun little, Last Stand sheriff, kind of had a sense of humor to it. The one that got, Sabotage, I think, got some little press. It was horrible. He was in that one where the I don't know what it was called, the prison escape with him and Rambo. I mean, Stallone. But he's been, seriously, in 4 or 5 or 6 movies. And, dude, we're not talking bombs. We're talking makes $1 million. And, I mean, we're talking disastrous results.
That's weird. I mean,
and then you put him and Stallone in that Prisoner movie, and that thing bombed. But again, here's a guy. Is Terminator going to do well? I'm not convinced it's even going to do well.
I haven't seen much of it yet that's really got me too convinced. I guess the Terminator skin ages.
Yeah, okay,
I'm
whatever.
trying to figure out how he's the old Terminator.
Yeah.
But, okay. Again,
I guess
I would love to see a fun
whatever.
Terminator movie. I mean, I'm not sure what's going on here yet, and some of the guy playing some of the actors in there just don't look right. I don't know. There's a couple of them.
I think the whole thing's geared towards young, and I think it's geared towards the WB kind of mentality, and they're throwing him in there because they want that X crowd that is plus 40 or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, it's his only chance at this point to being a hit. I mean, it really is.
Yeah,
it's his only chance.
Again, I hope it is just for his sake.
Yeah.
I would love. I've always liked
he's
Arnie.
nice.
I mean,
I'm never a big fan, but I mean,
he's been in some
Predator.
Good
I liked.
Predator was good.
He was in Die Hard, wasn't he? Didn't he play in Die Hard?
He was the main character in Die Hard.
He played the main character in Die Hard. I like that.
Hard.
He was in Primer. But I liked him in Predator. I liked him in obviously the Terminator movies.
Some of the funny
True
things
Lies,
kinda. I like True Lies. I always thought it was
think
fun.
it's overrated,
yeah,
but I
haven't watched it for years.
Yeah,
so
Steve,
it's
overrated.
Go back to, but at the time, I thought.
But but it's not bad. I mean, it's obviously Cameron. But it's Cameron's.
Some of the comedies
it's Cameron's worst film by far.
Yeah, I think that's.
But the comedies, Twins is doable, but I mean,
but at least it's something. He had a little bit of a range where he would do different things and have some fun. So,
but it's interesting to me, and I use him as the example because I go, boy, here's a guy that I don't want to say he was at the peak because he wasn't at the peak of his career. His career kind of started falling off, but it had. I mean, in the '80s, he'd had a number of hits. 90s, not so much. I mean, there's a few, the Terminator and True Lies and stuff. I don't know when he went to office, but I'm guessing mid-90s-ish.
Sounds like it would have been right around there.
And he was, in there for roughly 8-9 years, however long, the terms are. But, I mean, he comes out in 08 or whatever year it was, 09, and just bomb after bomb
that was shocking. I really thought he would at least have a movie or two that was sort of people said, something good about. I mean, not just bombs. Because, people been waiting for him to come back. I would have thought.
And I watched Rocky or Balboa. Rocky Balboa is that what it's called?
The last one, yeah.
And I got to tell you, I mean, it's pretty stupid at the end when he's fighting the guy. But, I mean, that movie, I actually like that movie. I was like, it's a pretty good movie. Yeah. I mean, it's just, I love Rocky movies.
We got Creed coming up now.
Yeah. But I'm a sucker for Rocky movies. Yeah. I mean, the first 3, or probably the first 2 are my favorite. 4 kind of a little too 80s synth, video. But even 5 is not horrible.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's watchable. It's actually got a pretty good story. It's just a little too. We're trying to go back to our roots, and we're it's almost too much.
Because they lost their money, didn't they?
Yeah,
and it was,
I mean, it's almost a little. But Rocky Balboa, the thing that I love about it is, it's never makes any mention about the fact that he's younger than he is, that he runs a little restaurant, which makes sense. That he kind of is there to do his little dance to customers, patrons. and all the scenes in it, and even the fight, even though it's kind of goofy, I love the fact that he said one time in a movie that he thought his first several movies he did choreograph on the Rocky films were some of the worst he'd ever done because they were so fake looking. And if you do watch the movie, there's a lot of scenes where clearly they're not even getting close to each other's face. I mean,
but overall,
don't get me wrong, I still love the movies. But they said that Rocky Balboa is the most realistic one he'd ever done as far as fights. And he's clearly in great shape. I mean, still great shape. But I love the thing about, he can't do certain things because of varicose veins. But the great thing about that movie is they actually say that because of some kind of hit or something, it injured the champ. And that's, the only reason he had it. Yeah, there's something where he swings or something and it injures one of the champ's arms or something, and he can't really punch as good. And obviously Rocky doesn't win, but I mean, it makes more sense. You're like, okay, that kind of makes sense. That's the reason he kind of stayed in it because the champ. But I actually dig Rocky Balboa. Rambo, kind of the same thing. Rambo, I don't think is great, but this end of Rambo, if you don't get a kick out of some of the stuff he does at the end, it's so over
and I didn't
the
see
top.
it, and I wanted to see it, but I didn't see it.
I mean, there's a scene at the end of it when Rambo literally with a machete cuts a guy in half, and I mean, it's so great because you're like, well, that's the Rambo.
Yeah, that's Rambo.
and I mean, it's so great because it's a guy that's so evil in the movie that you really are like, oh, cool, he really got this guy, and he cuts him in half, and I mean. It's a very hard R-rated movie. There's a lot of blood and gore in it. He's making another one of those. But again, you've got these, action. And I know they do it in the Expendables, which are, the box office keeps dropping every time they do one of those. But my problem is, Steve, is you get to a point, Bubba, and you're like, because they're kind of our era action heroes. Right. I just think
they want to keep going.
Do I want to see, 77-year-old Harrison Ford as Indian? No, I don't.
No, I think we can agree on that.
Do I want to see 70-plus-year-old Stallone fighting a guy in a ring? No.
He doesn't have to fight.
No,
and that's why I love the fact that he's training Apollo Creed's son.
Like
that's a great idea.
And I'm
Keeps
sure
the thing
damn well there's going to be some scene in it where he fights
and
somebody.
The ghost of Apollo Creed will show up.
Seriously, there'll be a scene in it where he fights somebody. I mark my words.
I have to agree with you there.
But
so that's okay.
Yeah, which I don't have a problem with that.
Arnie.
But Schwarzenegger, first of all, I'm not a huge fan. But second of all, dude. First of all, I don't think Terminator's going to make money, but even if it does, he's got nothing else to fall on.
No, that's his only franchise that he can really hang on to.
All these, he did 4 or 5 movies in a row that were all him being like a FBI or undercover or something, and all of them bombed horribly. But what I think is now our generation is sort of tired of it, but the generation that goes to the movies more. The younger generation, first of all, they're going, who's Arnold Schwarzenegger? And second of all, they're going, why is a 70-year-old guy beating a bunch of 20-year-olds? I mean, it's just not realistic.
Yeah, exactly. And so, how will he play to this generation? And, it still comes down to how well the movie's written.
Sure.
I mean, it could be entertaining, and it could be something that everyone will enjoy. I'll be surprised, I think, really. And, you don't have enough other stars in that movie other than him. You got the chick from Game of Thrones.
That movie to me has bomb written all over it. I just there's no
from the first images I saw, it just had a weird fake.
It does have a very goofy. It looks like it was thrown together. It looks like a last.
None of the other actors have any kind of charisma to it. And it looks like the T-1000's in it, and
which again doesn't make a lot of sense.
Well, I don't know what's going on with the story, but it must be because he's got. Oh,
supposedly there's all kinds of time travel in it.
Is there going to be time travel?
Yeah, I've already heard that.
That usually ruins everything.
Yeah.
But again, I love a good time travel movie if it makes sense. But when you do it too many times, you start losing the. Why you could always just go back and change it. So if you just keep going back and changing it, eventually, Well,
but what I mean is there becomes a conundrum with a film that, like, I saw the trailer for Fury Road, and I was just like, oh, my God. I mean, I couldn't believe just how outrageous it was, especially now, because nowadays, even movies, because it is a studio-produced picture, and it's as insane a studio picture that I've seen in years. And I mean...
Yeah, the potential for that is pretty good.
I mean, it looks... But here's my thing, is... First of all, I love Tom Hardy, so I got no problem with that. But my first thing was I thought, well, Mel Gibson, last thing he was in was 30-plus years. It was literally 30 years ago with, Beyond Thunderdome, whatever. Mm-hmm. And 30-plus years later, the thing is, Mel is still in very good shape, and Mel's not that old. I mean, Mel's
he's
probably
not in it at all, is he? I haven't heard of him.
Well, I keep hearing people say that he is in it, that he's in some kind of, role that nobody's said anything yet.
Yeah.
But I have no problem with with Mel Gibson not being Mad Max, and the reason being is because not an age thing, because Mel's not that old. Mel's probably 56, 57, 8 years old, maybe, I don't know, 59, but he's in his late 50s. Yeah. And the thing is, Mel Gibson, for the most part, still looks pretty young. Sure. I mean, he could he pull that role off if they dirtied him up and everything? Absolutely. No doubt in my mind. But Tom Hardy, who I dig, kind of adds something to it that makes me go, I'd rather see this version.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, I mean, because I love Tom Hardy. I love Tom Hardy.
I think this is a role he'd have fun with.
Yeah.
And anytime you see an actor doing something that's fun, that it brings out, I think, the best in him. And so we've seen, what's his name do Mad Max. And, and that's we've got those. Same as bringing. Well, it'd be better than bringing Harrison Ford back to play Indiana Jones again, because I think he could probably Mel Gibson could do it. Yeah. But no, I like this because it'll be more. I think there'll be more.
I just think it's
more,
well, I mean, it's just that whole thing of, and I'll be the first to admit it. I mean, it's that whole thing of going, a 75-year-old man, 77, whatever, is not going to be able to kick a bunch of 25-year-old guys' butts. It's not going to happen.
Right. That's my other thing about Tom Hardy, though. Is he still super beefed up like he was in?
He looks kind of like it.
It'd almost be better to play like Lord Humongous Jr.
Yeah, I mean, well, the thing is when he was really bulked, when he was in, because good Lord, he was big.
I couldn't believe him in Dark Knight.
But see, he kind of got like that in that great movie he was in with Nick Nolte and Edgerton. What was it, a Warrior? He was pretty bulky in that. He was gigantic.
That's what I'm saying, because I don't picture Mad Max as being that bulky.
He looks like he's trimmed down a bit. Doesn't look as big. I still think, and I will tell you this, I still think there's parts of, and you may not believe me, but a couple of shots in Dark Knight or Dark Knight Rises, I think when it shows him without a shirt and stuff, I think that's CG'd. I really do. I think part of it is, I don't think he got that big. He might have.
Yeah, but it seemed because I hadn't seen him like
huge in that
That's
movie.
what I thought. I thought I've seen him before, and he didn't look. I didn't think
he's a big guy.
Yeah, I'm sure he's. Yeah,
and if you've seen Warrior, which is a great movie, kind of a Rocky type of movie, but about whatever martial arts, kickboxing kind of thing. And I didn't think it'd be good, but it's amazing. He's big in that. I mean, he's really big in that.
Huh. Well,
but I got no problem with him doing that, because to me, it's like that makes sense. But I can't accept anybody else, even though I know you don't agree, but I mean, Chris Pratt, I think he looks the part.
See, I don't think he looks the part.
But
put him up against Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford had a much
more charisma,
natural, that handsome look with that.
Cooper's more.
He's goofy looking, I think.
Yeah, he is to a point. I mean, he's more.
That's because that's where he comes from, and we know he's the goofy.
Well, but Cooper too has that snarky kind of look.
But he has a more handsome. More Ford like.
You know who I'm thinking, and I don't know old enough yet or not, is Burt Burton. Burt Burton.
Burt Burton is not quite there.
Would you
yet.
say he's old? Is he too old to be in that?
No. Burt's got a long way to go. I think he's got a lot of he's been in movies since the early 70s at least, so he's still going. I think he's got
mainly
he can bring an edge to the role.
Though.
Yeah, he hasn't had that big breakout starring role yet. He didn't get the Terminator part.
No, I know it was up for that.
I think his biggest selling point to the movie is he's got his own cop suit that he brings with him, and so they don't have to.
And he does. Well, he's got. And he mainly plays plays cops.
That's right. So
he's got an issue with rain, so he's always got
he's got the
cover over his hat.
Cover, and he's got his own lines.
He's got a catchphrase already, not on my
built
watch.
In.
Yeah,
so he could go right up against Arnold with that.
I mean,
I'll be back. Not on my watch.
Not on my watch. I think he's a listen, and I don't normally toot my people's horns. I know, but Burt Burton is on his way up.
He's on his way. I think I read in Variety magazine last week. Yeah, he's a star on the rise.
Yeah,
I believe that's what they said.
Star on the rise, right next to Jennifer Lopez. They said
I heard they're
star
dating. I'm not sure. But.
That's the BB and J Lo.
Yeah,
Berber and J Lo.
Burjo. That's what they call two
called Burjo together. Which is also an excellent sandwich you can get.
I've had the Burjo.
Yeah, the Burjo. If you order it, make sure you order it with fries.
Chris Pratt sauce.
Yeah, Chris Pratt sauce. I saw that picture of Chris Pratt, which I still haven't seen Guardians of the Galaxy. Because you worry me now. I'm like,
that's a movie. I was talking to a friend of mine who, he's a big comic book guy, and he loved the movie and everything. It's like, and I remember I'm one of the few people, I guess, who said, I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
I just didn't. I don't know what the big deal was about it.
I don't like Zoe Saldana. I'll be the first to admit. Never been a big fan.
I didn't have a problem with her necessarily. I just thought it was an okay movie. Did
you hear that Simon Pegg's writing Star Trek 3?
Yeah, that's all right. He's
I like
good.
that.
Yeah, he's good. So that needs. I don't know what's going on there, but
does anybody care about those movies anymore? You think?
I think so.
Yeah, I mean,
you got a lot of Trekkies out there.
I'm very interested to see a more full trailer. When are we going to get a full trailer for Star Wars?
I heard on Avengers we'll have something.
Did you hear that they're thinking about moving Star Wars to the summer?
I have not heard that. I can't believe that they would do that.
They said that they were debating because there's a window and they think it'll do bigger business in the summer.
I was shocked that they would rush it if they had with that much. That's a lot of time left to finish the movie. And
how long is it going to take for them to delete that to edit out that part with that sword?
He said they've been working around the clock to try and fix that conundrum.
People don't like that.
I saw him talking. He said he's had equal parts people emailing him. Explaining why it works, and equal part telling why it wouldn't work.
Right.
So it's pretty split. It's just ridiculous. There's nothing wrong with it.
I like your idea that you're cool with it, but I also think that it has the potential to ruin the movie.
Worse than a double-ended lightsaber did in there.
Is Yoda going to be in this movie?
Okay, I gave you the list.
I mean, seriously,
of the people that died in the other movies. Well, he could be a
died?
Ghost.
Yoda died?
And Return of the Jedi.
I thought he couldn't die. I thought he was part of the Force.
Well, he became part of the Force. He faded away, and then at the end of the Return of the Jedi, Luke's looking at Obi-Wan, Yoda, and his father standing there, and Hayden Christensen standing there as ghost form.
Is that seriously true? Is he? Did they put him in there?
Yeah, I guess you probably haven't seen it, but yeah, they replaced the guy who.
In there.
Remember at the end, Luke takes Vader's helmet off right before he dies, and it's this guy named Sebastian Shaw who played the. And then that was him at the end as the ghost.
Right.
Which makes sense.
Sure.
And then they got rid of him. So then they bring Hayden Christensen.
Great.
So Darth Vader gets his young ghost body, while Obi-Wan and Yoda are still in their old body. So why he was bad and he gets to go back to his young. It didn't make sense.
Is that really how they did it, though?
Yes, it's Hayden Christensen, Alec Guinness, and Yoda standing there.
Well, I mean
it does make a lot of sense.
It's perfect.
God.
Well, no, and Hayden Christensen, what a great actor.
I liked him before the movie. I saw him in a couple things. It was okay.
Life is a House or whatever. That was a good movie.
He was great in that. And
the Looper movie he was even pretty good in.
Not Looper.
Wasn't it Looper?
Jumper or something.
Or Jumper.
Yeah,
Jumper.
Again,
Jumper.
Right. But look what they also did it with. They took Natalie Portman, Liam Neeson, Ewan McGregor, made
them
look terrible.
How do you screw up that level of actors?
I don't know, but boy, I watch that sometimes and it's going, well,
Natalie,
listen to some of the dialogue.
Natalie Portman
has
to be just livid about being in that, don't you think?
Whatever, they made a bunch of money and
I guess
moved on and still doing good stuff.
I mean, she's still in big films, but God, she's just awful in it.
Yeah.
Anyways, last thing I was going to say is I didn't realize that Yoda could die. I thought he could always stay alive.
He joined the Force like Obi-Wan did.
But but when you join the First, you die.
No, if you listen to Yoda's teachings throughout the movies,
which I didn't.
Luminous beings are we, not this crude matter.
Mm-hmm.
The body is just holds the force inside, and it
but
goes
he says
away
it in that goofy way that he says it.
Luminous beings are we, not this crude matter.
That's great.
Pretty good.
Hey, do some Lord Humongous.
Just walk away. Take your things. Pack them in your vehicles. Leave them in, but walk away.
It's about the fuel.
And leave the fuel and the child.
Yeah.
Pack your things and leave. Walk away.
Yeah.
And there'll be an end to the horror.
Yeah. I liked it.
I'm working on it still.
You said something about leave them in.
Well, because they like it.
Yeah, that didn't. Because
he didn't say that.
But the movie has definitely got a homoerotic vibe to it.
A lot of
when he chokes Mohawk,
that calms people down.
You're going, this is kind of. I'm not real
he hugs
comfortable
him
watching
into submission.
this. I'm not real comfortable with this.
Well, that guy rides around on the bike with that half-naked guy, too. So.
It's pretty odd. Guys, we appreciate you listening tonight. Steve-O and Lil Smokey.
That's me.
Power Hour. We had fun tonight, and, of course, we'll see you next week.
You blow it up! Just walk away, and there will be an end to the horror.